Remember campfire movies? It is a little after 4. I meant to get up earlier. Woo! This thing will blind you if you look at it. You know what? Let's do this. That's less intense. All right. Today's the day. I am so nervous. In case you just heard. Today's the day. Just came out to see no rain, so today's the day. Can you see that? Me, Rocky, who died before I left. Wolves, lions, earth, the center of it all, building what's new, and then love, and a message, and can you see all these? Harmony, health, what is that one? Enlightenment, honor, peace, persistence. This is a little kid in Cliff. Adaptability, more harmony, respect, collaboration, generosity, accepting. We did adaptability. I think that's it. But this was my idea when I left 12 years ago. And this black one was going to be the heart of it all. This was my representation of what I wanted to be and to do out in the world. I left what I called my mountain monastery in Crestline, California, and I wanted to, I didn't want the old America. I want a new America. I want a new world. I wanted to be part of building the new world. And now, I'm getting ready to see if I can survive the nightmare that this world has become. And I'm just sort of going through everything. So I have, this is too big for Haven, but I want to bring it because she'll grow. And I have to decide between this pack, which is waterproof, but it has no compartments, and this pack, which is lighter and I can carry it easier, it has lots of compartments. I'm trying to decide if I want to take my wagon with me. And then you can see, I tried to clean up, but I'm just too tired, man. I can't even get my space cleaned up. I read somewhere that, or I saw one time on a super survival dude, that you want to look broken into. But I can tell you, living up here, people just go through your crap whether you live there or not. So next is, here's my shepherd's staff, which was my fantasy life. Here are my 2 hiking sticks. The pink one is my snake stick. These are $50 each. Or a wooden walking stick, which is a $5 broom handle. I can tell you with these, they're super lightweight, but you can thump as hard as you want and you will get nowhere in terms of who you're attacking. Plus, I've been letting them sit outside, so they're getting ruined. So I have a huge mess, a lot to do, The sun is quickly rising in my beautiful garden that it's time to let go of. All right, the day continues. All right, I'm burning through my electricity, and I thought that I would take a quick look back, as I was just talking about earlier, what my hopes were when I went out, on this whole journey 12 years ago. This is video. It's fascinating. I have all the right words, but I had no idea the realities of what I was talking about. And you can see what a decade and a hard life in the desert will do to a girl. Can you see that?
And so it is the same for us. Not all humans are here to shift and to awaken and to anchor and then ascend into this new world. There's just some people that are going. Not everybody is going. And that's okay, because regardless of the magnitude of this process, we are still each individual spirits and souls that are doing our own personal journey. So it's complex and it's overwhelming, but we have to remember to pull it back into the individual and the personal within the system. What do you want? What are you wanting for yourself? And you can't choose for anybody else. You can't tell anybody else to wake up and to master themselves so they can move into this new world. But if you feel that calling within you, then that ascension process is what we're moving towards. So my examples of Jesus and the Mayans are two. There's a person in the group that I appreciate because they met.
All right, I'm not going to show the rest of that to you. That's just a little clip. It was a whole series I did on these ideas. I haven't looked at them since I did them 2011. So it's fascinating. I don't believe in ascension the way that I probably did back then. But that was when I was still drinking Kool-Aid, and I lived in a house, and I had electricity, and I had hot water on demand, and I could curl my hair, and I could put makeup on, and I had clothes that wouldn't get dirty, and when I wanted to turn the computer on, it magically just turned on, and life was infinitely more comfortable. So for all those people who like me, I was into the la spirituality, the magic of it all. And I knew the words personal responsibility, but I didn't know what that really meant. And so that was I think I'm in avoidance mode. I'm just so overwhelmed with how much work there is to do today. But like I said, I'm using up the last of my electricity, and I thought I was actually looking for a real specific video. That was the very first one in 2006. But I can't find it. I think it died on my last computer. So see, we can say the words, but after a decade of speaking words, I even said too much information earlier in the video. After a decade of saying, or more than a decade, I was talking that way long before that. It just doesn't mean anything until you put it into action. And it's always about letting go. It's not about what you think you know. It's always about letting go. And most of us who have lived a life of comfort and safety, letting go is a kicking and screaming process. And I cannot tell you how deeply I am kicking and screaming inside about this next phase of letting go. You don't have to do all this, but this is the real spiritual work. It's easy to talk about it. It's a bitch to do. So I'd be ecstatic if I could just live in a cave and have my meals delivered to me, or be like Thoreau and Walden, and have somebody come in and clean and cook, because he only stayed there on the weekends. He worked during the week, and the women cleaned and cooked for him. He doesn't tell you about that part, does he? Nobody's cleaning and cooking for me, that's for sure. So, all right, I'm super avoidance mode, but that was a tiny flashback into when life was still magical, and the true hardness of survival had not stripped away all the softness of my naivete. Flashback. Can you see that? This is my journal, and normally I write, you know, the date, where I am, and so I can keep them organized, but these are too big. I can't take them with me. And so, you know, I've been thinking about if this was my last video, right? What would I say? What would I leave as my last words? Oh, I can't see with these. And these are my girls just want to have fun glasses, right? And so I wrote some stuff down, and I'm just going to have to read it because I don't think I can say it. But this is my last video. So what would I want to leave as my record? And I think I want to leave my story. I don't care about what's going on in the world. I think what's important is what was my story. Because I would want to know what my grandmother or my great-great-grandmother's story was. And so, you know, this began at over 12 years ago. I started all of this. I left my home, I left everything I knew because I wanted to ask the question, can I survive? And I didn't know, but I do now. I have the skills and the knowledge, but I don't think I have the strength or the energy. But I'm changing. And I like who I've become because there was a naivete and a softness to who I was when I was part of the old world. But I doesn't fit into the old world. And I only know what I don't want. You know, I left with this idea that I wanted to create something that was new, and then I had all these experiences and I couldn't find my tribe, and I only am holding who I don't want to be, right? I don't want to be that kind of la-la spirituality that needs a guru and wants to zen out or bliss out and think that's how you change the world, right? No personal responsibility for feeding yourself, just change the world. I don't want to be conservative and fundamentally religious. People who are conservative and religious are as scary as people who are atheists and I don't know what you call them today, progressive, liberal, whatever. I don't want to go into a road warrior scenario where savage is the rule of law. And I don't want to live alone in the woods and just die starving to death, which is the future if I just check out. She's helping me keep clean. But I do believe, and I've been saying this for a while, that what we're in right now is a crucible, and that everyone is going to have to walk it at some point in their soul's timeline. And I believe there's 4 stages. There's before preparing, there's during the crucible, which is what we're all in now. There's after, and then there's this really special post-crucible time, which is where I wanted my work to be in the world. But I don't know that I'll even see that time. And that's when you transform. That's when the next evolution of human or spirit or whatever happens. You can't avoid it. You can't be all soft and comfy and fairy tales and cotton candy and really expect anything monumental to change. Can you even hear me over all that noise? I don't think that's why we're human. I think we came here to heal all the things that are broken and to learn the lessons of all the things that we didn't understand. And that usually requires crucibles. And then there's downtime. We like the downtime. But, you know, I began this journey before I even entered my mother's womb. I spent my time in this world seeking a truth that made sense to be here. And I will leave this world knowing I did not fail in it, but found the truth to let it go with the love in my heart and no fear in my mind. But right now, you know, my body is here. She's here. I still have to take care of us. And I don't know what that means. But I know a lot about what doesn't work. I know a lot about what not to do. Time will tell. But I would say the one thing that I have learned, and I've written this down over and over and over the last few days, is that, you know, when I talked about, I don't know, you know, if I'm going to have the feminine within me anymore, because a hardness, there's such a hardness to the survival aspect of a very physical existence. That's masculine energy. I don't think I've been looking at it the right way. What I really have come away from in these last 12 years, but very much so in this last, I don't even know what day it is anymore. I think we're at the end of July somewhere. Mosquitoes are out, yay. That I am not the light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't come into this world. Oh my gosh, could you stop that? I hope you can hear me. I did not come into this world to be soft and gentle and warm and nurturing. And that's all those things that the feminine are. What I came into the world to do is to be some version of the feminine as the storm and as the eye in the storm. You know, I named Haven because of my family, but I also, that's that safe place in the storm, right? That's that place that you can go to. And that is my strength, is to have the capacity to see the truth when it is the least visible. When there's the most violence, there's the most chaos, there's the most despair, and there's the most darkness. My strength is I can see the truth, which is love. It is not fear, which is joy and wisdom. But I didn't come in the world to be those things, floating through in a beautiful, soft, gentle way. And I have this tremendous amount of peace now that I get that I have something to offer that I don't hear other people talk about. I hear all kinds of versions, but what this month freaked out with the uncertainty and the fear and the terror, right, of having to just walk out of here with no clue where I'm going to go or what's going to happen to me. You know, I've done this 4 or 5 times in my life, but it's different. But I also have an ancestor-rich history of people who did the same thing. I know it's in my DNA. I know I'm capable. And I know that as scary as all this is, that this process has been, for me, these last 12 years, it's not about what I needed to do to become. It's what I needed to let go of so that I could be who I always was. And I didn't want what I thought would come out of all of this, so I've been fighting it tooth and nail. And I think now that we're at this point where there's nothing I can do, I can't buy my way out, I can't entertain my way out, I can't create my way out. All I can do is keep moving forward. You know, when I left 12 years ago, the message to myself was to learn to walk in faith. And I did. And I had a million things happen, you know, that were, okay, maybe a couple thousand. That were always just there. And most of the time, you know, I would step out into the unknown, and only then, you know, would I find the resistance that would allow me to move forward. And I just learned to trust that. But this is so big and so scary. It's a little more difficult. But it's not that you don't have fear, because I am just nauseous and terrified and weak. Weak with fear. But I also am finding that certainty and faith that I don't have to know what's going to happen, that I've done the hard part, and that whatever I do from this way forward is an act of grace, because I've got what I wanted. 24 hours, I say 18 hours a day, it's like that. I got what I came looking for when I left on this journey 12 years ago. I was terrified I wouldn't be able to survive if this happened. You know, the irony is 10 years ago I'd have been able to do it, but I can't do it now. I just don't have the strength. So I'm really just buying time and taking care of her and being okay with that. There is only what we need to let go of at this point, because we don't know what's next. I only know what I won't be a part of, and I'm not going back. I don't want the old America. The principles were awesome, but I don't want to be ruled by the left or the right. I don't want to have to adhere to anybody's beliefs or dogmas, no matter how virtuous or absolute they believe, right? I don't want to be in a world that wants to consume its way out of every single problem. I don't want to be part of a group that's so terrified to take personal responsibility they will allow someone to enslave and or kill them. I won't live in chains. You know, when I was doing my videos and stuff, I came up with the slogan of stay human, live free, die wild. And it's as true for me today as it was when I first thought about it. And, you know, the one I think that people understand the least, they understand stay human now. Live free is obvious, right? But I don't think people understand what freedom actually is the die wild. And what I've learned in my time in nature is that the wilderness, the wild, is really reclaiming who we are in this world, in this body, in this system. And the closer to it we get, the happier we are, because the hardware of our whole body and our whole mind and our whole emotional range is integrated into this world, you know. And all I saw at the end here, not now, was information overload, right? We wanted to gather information. We didn't want to take action. So if I could go back, my message would be that the information part of the war is over. This is the war. And now we need to consolidate what we've learned and make a life. Get through this part of the crucible. And if I get to the other part afterwards, I want to be part of helping people understand the fourth stage, the transformation stage. And that's really, you know, through our nervous system and nature. It's not something that you can pay somebody to teach you. It's an experience. And this experience separates the wheat from the chaff. And in modern world, you know, we don't understand that reference. This experience tempers the steel. This experience will burn away everything and all you'll be left with is what's within yourself. This is the purge, not the movie Purge, but the purging, the letting go of everything that we are required to let go of so that what's next can come. So it's an interesting dichotomy today, because as you hit up against this wall, like, I have to leave, I can't do these anymore, you know, I'm torn between this, right, and the Zen of it all. And I think we are under this misperception that unless you're Zen all the time, or you're in control all the time, you don't know anything. And nothing can be further from the truth. If you're not freaked out right now, then you are part of the group that will be swept away in the deluge of this purge. But that's okay, because we're not all here to do the same thing. And I have always believed that my work was to live on the edge of it all, even when nobody else understood. And now in hindsight, I can see so much. I don't know what I'll be able to do with it. I don't know how I'll be, if I'll do anything with it. But it'll always be in the ethers. It'll always be available, because it's not my truth. There is only the truth that we all get to, and the only way we get there is in and through a crucible. And it sucks, right? Nobody wants to be part of that. It's not something you sign up for, but you do have to be willing to do. And we all do it at different times in different ways, and more than once. So that's my Zen moment for the day. Time is moving very quickly. I'm not feeling any better about any of this, but just trying to see if there's anything else I really wanted to say. Other than, I hope you've enjoyed your puppy entertainment. So I will check in probably once or twice, but I just want to take a moment to reflect, because this is really hard. It's one thing to do it in your mind. It's one thing to visualize. It's one thing to pay somebody, right? We can go on a survival experience, but this is the first time in my life there is no safety net except for me, my skill set, and you know, the God that I believe in, the Creator I believe in. Not to save me, but that has given me what I need to get through. And when I'm done, I will leave. And I will leave knowing I did what I came to do. Because my work was only within myself, to plant those seeds in the ether. And I believe I've done that. And to recognize who I'm not going to be has been the hardest part of all of this, I think, the last couple years. But I can let go now. I am not, you know, this all began with a poem, Woman of Peace. And I had a picture about that, and I've been fighting that picture ever since. I hate that word peace, right? Oh, I am storm, but I am calm in the storm. I am the eye of the storm. One of my greatest skills is to hold it together when nobody else can, and to see the truth when no one else can look. And that has value. Nobody else values it, but I understand it. And I can do this part too, because I've done the hard part. So that's not the last word, but almost. It's time. This one, this one, this one. Fancy glasses, or, just a minute. I don't know if I can go through with this. or neither. So what I've learned is don't cut your hair. Don't cut your hair with a sharp knife outside. It's down to the wire. It's down to the wire. And so thank you for taking this journey with me. Thank you for spending time understanding my story. It's funny to talk to a camera that nobody's going to ever listen to. I've spent years talking to a camera with just a few people listening, but it's different knowing that no one's probably ever going to see this. And this was a big decision to go. It's a scary decision to go. And my takeaway is I can't. You know, I've spent this whole time talking about how I can't get along with anybody. I don't belong in this community, and everybody's gone. I'm here by myself. And everything I've learned and everything I know about these times in the world are, I need to get out. I need to go get water. I need to go soon. Don't hesitate. If you wait too long, you get stuck, right? But, you know, with the gas being pretty much taken away from me, and with losing freedom, and with the stress of all of this, and while I know every intellectual fiber of my being that I need to just walk away, I can't. There's something in me that says wait. There's something in me that says stay. I know I'll have to leave eventually. I know I have to find a way to get along with everybody. I know I have to find out something else about what's going on out there. I'm just not ready. We still don't know. We still don't know. So while all my pontifications are still true and real, every ounce of intuition and gut I've got says, no, you've got to stay. And I don't know if that's just my fear or if it's something else that I need to listen to, but I can't do it. I can't. So this is still the last video, but I can't go. I have to stay. Today I don't walk away. Today I physically don't walk away. Mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I've walked away big time. But today my body is required to stay. And I'm going to trust that. That's the grace. I'm going to trust that. And the most important thing that's been about this process for me getting ready to leave, and all that I've learned about myself in relationship to others, and how I don't get along, and how we've bumped heads, and how scary it is with all this uncertainty, what I take away now is fear hasn't made any of it better at all. So I'm going to walk away from my fear. I'm going to walk away from who I was. I'm going to walk away from this because I'm out of electricity and gas. But I'm not going to walk away from life itself. That I am not. And with that, we've got one more thing to do. Oh, all right, Haven. This is the part of the movie that if I could edit, we would say fade to black.